So, for one, I was just informed that Stans is not in the best mood today. Let me tell you guys something about moods. I love this type of opportunity. I showed up one time to a business, and right at this moment, I'm in a bad mood, and I remember this woman, she said, hey, take a deep breath, or do not go in there with the way you're feeling right now. Key word was feeling, because nobody cares how you fucking feel. Nobody. If I went in there being my best self, I probably would have thrown this dude off the second floor. That's the truth. But I knew one of my rules has always been, this officer one time, I got a buddy named Andrew Nicholson, and he pulled me over. If you ever been to Kansas, Hobbs will tell you, he went there after graduating high school and never went back because they pulling your black ass over. That's the truth. It's just, you black, you got a car in Kansas and you shouldn't be in over the park, you're getting pulled over. I called my homeboy Andrew when I first got out there, and I said, hey, this cop just pulled me over. Should I get out the car and whoop his ass? He said, no. Do not do it. I used to call Edwin Birch. He's a 50-year-old dude who used to run PR for the whole school district and Fox, I believe, in Kansas City. I got these things I put in play to keep me calm because, believe it or not, I could probably snatch a tree out the ground if I get angry enough. That being said, it's imperative to show up always in a good state of mind, and one of the rules is, if you got an Apple Watch, I ain't got mine on right now, the irony is every now and then it probably says breathe. And I always take that seriously because you always feel better when you take a deep breath. Like you feel your lungs expand, the diaphragm, you go, man. And when it's a day like this and the sun's out, what is there to complain about? And here's the other fact. We put ourselves in some form of fashion on a pedestal. And we didn't do it, you guys did. You're watching because of everything that we do for our dogs. So we can't ever show up. Just like when I start running, we get to this business and it's doing $1 million a month in sales, I can't show up and have a bad day because of how I feel. As long as sales are good, as long as we've got problems that we can solve for, as long as people's dogs are being better, what's the real complaint, And I'll end it with this when we get to Tron's work. You think about it, we saw Will Smith have a weak moment. And at the end of the day, you ask yourself, his family's healthy, kids are fed, bills are paid. He literally was one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, and he's still acting just like a weirdo or odd or less than. He complained about not being as big as Dwayne Johnson, but The Rock never stopped and said, I wanted to be bigger than Will Smith. He just kept working. I was watching an old school movie, The Scorpion King, which is trash. But you go back, you said, well, The Rock didn't came a long way. He didn't came a long way, and it was his journey that got him there, not him comparing himself to nobody. So we're going to get trying a little tighten up. I've worked on this down a little bit. As I told you before, I don't do a lot with the dogs. If you have an XL bully, what ends up happening is his cognitive skills don't set in till about 16 months. Tron's just now getting smarter, believe it or not. He's just now getting smarter, where you see ego in them like this. Ego thinks about everything. Hera, Lord have mercy. I had to start moving, so I was at my friend's house. She's already climbing on tables. It's almost annoying because she's really thinking about things, and she's 5 steps ahead of all these dogs, to be clear. All of them. Bebe Machacha, thinkers. Tron, he a little out there. I'm gonna be honest with you. So he's gonna take a little bit longer. And it's the massive. You can see the massive approach. But when you do have a team and you guys are putting in a team effort, you have an opportunity to be better. Someone has to take the lead. And that means at times Jamarcus might have to stand up, and he has to deal with me every day. Every day. And you can't ever have a bad mood, because mind you, my mood get the worst. You don't want me to have a bad mood. If I get a bad mood, everybody's mood shifts. So I got to show up and be in good standings, with good spirit, no matter what's going on. Because if this fails, it only fails because of me. I got a call from Ruben on the way here. Everybody's excited about what's happening. And if I'm being frank, it's because I pressed all the right buttons. That's just the truth. And they say, look, he did a lot, and Jamarcus has done just as much. But even if I didn't have the plan, they wouldn't know what to do. That's the truth. So as we all continue to come together, and I would encourage you, if you've got a team of people, make sure that you guys choose a leader, or the leader needs to have a clear plan. He needs to put himself below everybody, because I try to uplift as much as I can, even in stressing the value of guys like Ruben, who said, I don't know anything about business. And then he starts talking about stuff. You go, well, it sounds like you got a good idea to me. You just don't know how to transfer it over. But what you saying, you understand value. And value is one of the most important things in business. If your business can convey what is valued at the highest level, you guys understand taking care of our dogs, that's the only thing that matters. If we stop doing that, this all goes away. So he's going to teach Tron a few things, talk a little bit about training, tell you what he went through this past week. He got bit up. I got the message. His hands chewed up. He ain't got to show you it. But again, having a bad day, it's like the stock market. The stock market has had bad days, but it doesn't have a bad life. Think about that. 1940s, you know, the Great Depression, and then guess what? Everybody came back up. 2008, another crash, and it came back up. One of the guys that said, Trev, you need to get into the stock, he just made it very simple. It has bad days, it might have a bad few months, could even have a bad year, but it won't have a bad life. And there are some people who take advantage when the stock's crashing. So it's like this, might have a bad day, but we got to get over it, because money still got to be made, change still got to happen, and we are still ahead of the curve because we're doing the work. And unless you can compete with the work and showcase it, well, you can't. Good luck. So
please don't put it. You ready? Let's work. Right? There you go. There you go. Free. So you want to make sure the dog is getting into the proper position. We want to lure him back. Guide. Hey, I didn't drop it. We're going to guide him where we want, and we're going to mark these behaviors. Good job. Good job.
Talk a little bit about markers. Markers, people, requires, the key word in marking something is patience. So when you're marking something, it really is patience, because if the dog, you just do it too fast, and I know Stan doesn't do it that fast. It's a patient game. I stand and look at them jokers. You seen it. I look at him about 2 minutes. Ain't nobody moving over, because I know he's thinking for himself. All pit bull type breeds, they think they know everything. That's the truth. Hera just, my friend was on a call, and she turned around, and I said, look, I knew this was coming. So she almost tried to get me. She said, what was that noise? I had to fix her. I had to fix her. She's gonna test me like her mama did, but we gotta understand it early. He had to go outside. So markers equal patience, right?
Yes, so you got to mark the correct thing. So in this case, when he is in the position that I'm in, and the mark I'm saying is yes in this case, and he gets that reward when he's doing the right thing. So we're gonna lure him back. You ready? Get him excited, get him excited. Oh yeah, get him, make him want to work, make him want to work. And like you said, bullies are independent thinkers. When they were in the box, they weren't listening to the person saying, hey, bite the back leg, bite the front. No, it was all about survival. So they developed that on their own. So we got to make sure we're guiding, so when they grow older, they shall not depart. Good boy, good boy. Free.
And Tron, again, he's a dog that's gonna do some pulling. He's a dog that's gonna push you a little bit. He's a dog that's gonna focus. He's a dog, if he don't get what he want, he'll walk off. He'll literally like, oh, I'm sitting in the backyard with him. He can't go nowhere. He'll walk off, jump over the fence, come back, and you know what? I'll sit right there on that stool till he comes back. Like, bruh, it's my time. He does not want to focus, versus where Ego, a little bit more of the terrier side, he's more like, what are we doing? And he'll sit there and wait. Bam Bam will come and wait too.
But you've also developed that from birth. Yeah. With your dogs. You had him at
I didn't produce him. Yeah. Like Hera right now, I'm gonna pull her out in a second. You'll see. It's a different dog already. It's just a different dog. It's literally a different dog. But Tron, Lord have mercy.
You ready? You ready? Let's work. He's paying attention like, no, he hungry? You ain't fed him yet?
He ate last night. That was it. That's another good thing too, people. Feed 2 hours before the dog goes to bed. We only feed once a day. And even in the once a day feeding, I know how to build the dog back up. Like even if he's eating once a day, I put 10 pounds on Tron with one meal. Because it's all nutritionally dense. But you don't want to have a hungry dog or a fed dog and do some work.
No, they're not going to want to work.
No, they be like,
and it's also dangerous to work your dog or feed your dog and then try to work them. They can get torsion, they can get bloat, stomach flips over, and that's a whole vet visit, and you don't want to do it.
You got about 5 minutes, 5 to 7 minutes if they do get bloat and the dog's dead. So you ain't even got like a window, and you need a bloat kit. So now you got to keep a bloat kit on staff.
And it's more likely to happen in bigger, larger breed dogs than it is smaller dogs. I don't think the original pit bulls, they don't have to really worry about that.
No bloat problems.
They built like tanks. But the bigger dogs, the mastiffs, the bullies, those kind of dogs, probably even the Frenchies, because they're just terribly bred dogs. You know, they probably have those health issues as well. But build value in food for your dogs. Make them want it. If you're always having it out for them, they don't appreciate it. Then so when you have something for them, they're like, I don't care. I can just go get it in the bowl.
Yeah.
What about you feed 7 days a week?
No. I fast. They fast. Sometimes I fast them twice a week. I'm like this. I studied in wolves. Them jokers, they don't need to eat tonight. Hey, look at his ego. He's looking too healthy. He'll be fine. He got some fat. And every now and then, if he throws up bile even, it's because his body's gotten accustomed to having resources, so you just shrink the meal. So it might be, mind you, Tron need about a pound of meat in each meal. If it was like ego or something, I might give him 4 ounces. 4 ounces of meat just to quench his little appetite, so his body can, again, have the calories it needs. But what happens? It goes into an activated fat. Basically, it'll use the fat for energy. That's the gist of it. I ain't gonna go into all the science.
not the science today, not the science. Because it takes about 9 hours for them to digest everything, correct?
12 to 9. That is good, depending on the breed too. It's so many variables, man. That's why when I first started back in the nutrition, I got out of it. I was like, oh, it's too many factors in this. It's too many factors. Protein's measured by the nitrogen balance in your body. My body don't like red meat. If I told somebody eat red meat, then you got BV, biological values of protein, which you're gonna absorb and utilize. It gets crazy. It'll be like this. Somebody like, what is this dude talking about? That's the point. It's too much.
Hey, go Google everything he just said. Break every word down and Google it. Find out what it means.
The Pet Achievers Club.
Yeah.
Pet Achievers. All right. So the most important part about all of this right now is going to be this man being able to do it. So right hand.
Here we go with these little tiny things. You see how big this joker's mouth is?
Hey.
I had some whole chicken the other day, and he was about to chew my finger off. But this is good too, because it forces him to learn a little bit more patience. But I was giving him frozen meatballs yesterday. Cause bruh, his dog can eat. Try. Let's go. Oh!
Yeah, don't bust it.
Still got it.
All right,
Still
so
got it.
I don't think you care
you
too much
good.
about position.
No, I don't.
But elbow in is gonna get him closer.
They
to
do
you.
though. That's what matters. It's not about me. This is for y'all. So look,
Watch his elbow.
tell them the importance of a heel. Like, why is this important?
Well, if you're going to be going out in public, you need to know where your dog is going to be. And a heel position means be at my left side, or in this case, be at my right side while we're moving.
On them jokers. Standing there and be like, hey, I'll be like, hey, we not doing that. Look, see, y'all want it perfect. I'm like this. What did I say? These are my dogs. Go ahead, dog.
And sometimes you gotta, that's okay.
Yeah.
So, what were we talking about? No, heel position. Let's go back to that. So the heel position is a control position for your dog. If we're going out on walks, just let your dog walk. But if you're going to be in public, you don't need a dog like this walking around trying to sniff everybody, because the way they look, most people don't like pointy-eared dogs or cut-eared dogs, and especially if they look built like this. Look at this back end, boy. That's a nice fit dog right there. But you want to be able to keep your dog under control, because if they bust out in the street, your dog can get hit. We have one of the handlers who's 12 years old with a 100-pound dog, and she needs to make sure this dog is not pulling her anywhere that she's not meant to go. So that's where these heel positions are going to come in. It is a controlled walking thing with you.
Okay, so guys, as you continue, look, all these little things right here, don't think of it as work. Think of it as an opportunity for you and your dog to connect. Again, people get dogs as impulse buy. You bought the dog because you wanted a dog, but the dog is a full-blown responsibility. I know, because I woke up all night cleaning poop and pee. Woke up this morning, pee in a cage. It never ends. It's literally like having a kid for 10 plus years of your life. There's never going to be a day where your dog doesn't need you to support its growth. So this stuff right here, I'm like this. Dog don't need a tight heel, but we need to have an understanding. So as I repeat, I said, talk to your dog like you talk to your loved ones every day. If that's what you do. I don't, but I talk to my dog, so it's a different thing. So talk to your dogs. It's just an opportunity for you, like, yo, let me see if I can get him to do such and such. And you're doing something, it should encourage you to do a little bit more. Yesterday, 2 times, and realistically, twice a day for the next few weeks, I'll be working on this down. That's that. And that's because I do like him to be in a good down. I'd love to see him, Bam Bam, Cha Cha, Ego, and Hera all in the down. That video go crazy. You get 4 or 5 bullies that look as pretty as mine do, all in the down. But if I do like this, raise my hand and do like this, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. It's a wrap. And I might go Yu-Gi-Oh, y'all. Not Yu-Gi-Oh, Naruto. Avatar, all that. Airbender. I might go in there to Airbender state and add some VFX.
Another thing you want to remember, do not compare your dogs to Tron. Don't compare your dog to Creed.
Yeah.
Compare your dog to your dog. As long as your dog is getting better each day, that's what's important, because you're not going to catch up to these dogs. Like, the amount of time he puts in with his dogs, I'd be like, damn, I wish I had that much time for my own personal dog.
Yeah, he like training other people's dogs. We was in the store yesterday.
Like is the right word.
There's a dude at the hat, so we was at Lynn's, and the dude was like, man, I know know you. I said, you don't know me. You don't know me. I don't come out the house. You don't know me. It's like, man, you got the dogs. He's like, man, my cane course needs some training. I said, talk to him, get his info, and I walked off. No disrespect. It's just, I'm not training nobody's dogs. I got 5 dogs that I want to be great. We're building a business around education. Everything we do is to help y'all, and you're seeing firsthand what our dogs kind of go through, and y'all see a lot of stuff y'all actually don't see. Y'all don't see that many times how to go. Like even when Hunter came yesterday, what I do, I walked right outside and took Tron. I had 5 treats in my hand, came back in, put him back up, because I'm on a routine right now. I need him to stay in that down state. So we're practicing. I don't care who's around. In my head, he need work. Cha-Cha need work. Bam Bam need work. Hera needs a lot of work. She in the car now. So I got myself in a routine with them as well. That being said, slow down, as he said. Take your time. Don't ever compare yourself to what we do. It's just, it's not even probable.
And how long did that those 5 reps take?
Bruh, I was in and out. Not even 5 minutes. Like they was talking, I went up there, I took 5 treats, literally. Sat down on my stool that's out there. He got into that position 5 times, he go right back up. I'm building value in him coming out of the crate as well. He's like, okay, this is what we doing. Let's go back inside. Now he knows the only way to get out now is if you down 5 times. Then I'll start upping the value by using one of his favorite toys. The ball's gonna be the last thing. He's not gonna function. He need to know when I say down, go down before I bring the ball out. So right now, it's just repetition. And I'm guessing I have at least 15 days, we're on day 2, 15 days before Tron gets into a down where I say down and he understands. And I'm standing up, to be clear.
Without luring.
Without luring. When I say down, he'll go down, and eventually, as we continue to build our correspondence, he'll understand what I mean when I say it. But like he said, I got a lot of time on my hands, and then at the same time, no time on my hands.
And one thing you want to do not confuse the dog. So a lot of people, when the dog's jumping up on them, they tell them down, which they want the dog to get off of them. They actually don't want their dog in a down position, and then they wonder why their dog isn't downing for them properly. Do not muddy the waters whenever you're working with your dog. Be clear. If you don't want them doing something, tell them no. Like, just keep it simple. Down should mean lay down. These are commands that can keep your dog safe in the long run.
There you go. Stay tuned. Take care of your dogs, people.